go now to the next game, which is the Jets and the Steelers. Heath, we're back to you. So we're looking at this. Thankfully, no big injuries in this game that we're concerned about as of now, although the quarterback situation changing for the Jets because Zach Wilson is returning from injury. He is going to start. The starter sit play is to start Garrett Wilson. The DFS play is Pat Freiermuth. And the prop to play is Zach Wilson over 205.5 passing yards.
And 2.5 passing yards.
And 2.5 passing yards. I think he'll get over 2.5 passing yards. All right, Heath, so let's talk about Zach Wilson. He's back, hasn't played a game this season. He certainly was inconsistent in his rookie season. What does his return mean for the Jets and their pass catchers, really this offense as a whole?
If there's anybody that I'm pretty sure it means bad news for, it's the running backs, because we did not see Zach Wilson throw to his running backs as often as Joe Flacco did last year. I'm not certain that we should expect that to change in his first start this year. I'm not sure it will be a downgrade for everyone else, though. Zach Wilson was bad as a passer as a rookie. Most rookie quarterbacks are. We should expect some improvement, and he's got a better cast of weapons now than he did in the past. I do think we'll see him not throw 52 times, but I would not be surprised if he throws 42. I think he probably averages around 7 yards per attempt. So he's in that 260 to 280 range in terms of passing yards. Expect this to be good news for Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. The most interesting guy in terms of how Zach Wilson affects him, for me, is Tyler Conklin. Because Conklin's been second on this team in target rate at 16%. If he can maintain that, he's just a top 10 tight end all year long. If that drops way off in this game, then I'll get a little bit more nervous about him.
Yep, number 3 tight end in fantasy right now. I am curious, though, with the running backs catching the ball, because we did see toward the end of the season, Zach Wilson sort of got it a little bit. Elijah Moore was banged up a little bit, but Ty Johnson, for example, had 2 games with at least 3 catches with Zach Wilson under center, so that's something hopefully will still matter for Breece Hall and for Michael Carter in this game. Dave, on the other side of the ball, you have the Steelers and just some really frustrating play right now. Clearly, the offensive line, Mitchell Trubisky, all of it kind of working together. The defenses that they played have certainly mattered as well. This is their easiest matchup to date so far. So when you look at the pass catchers here, who do we trust? You're starting Najee Harris. Do you trust Deontay Johnson, who's yet to score a touchdown? Do you trust Pat Freiermuth, who was good for the first 2 games but struggled last week? And then clearly the other 2 guys that everybody's curious about, George Pickens and Chase Claypool.
Freiermuth was like an afterthought until the 4th quarter, and then Trubisky found him on back-to-back plays, and it was like, what were you doing forgetting about him for the first 3 quarters? So I'm optimistic that the Steelers make him a focal point. I like him, and he's a top 10 tight end, and I like Deontay Johnson as a top 24-ish receiver in full PPR. A lot lower than that. He's got to be a flex in non-PPR. I love George Pickens. I want to put him on my bench. Don't want to use him in this game. And I don't really love Chase Claypool anymore. I might put him on my waiver wire and go after some of these other receivers that are starting to prop up out there.
He's playing a lot. He's just not producing a lot. 4 catches basically per game, but not doing a lot with it. And so hopefully Pickens starts to play a little bit more. Did have 7 targets last week, which was fun. And clearly we saw the highlight reel catch that he made that everybody was comparing to Odell Beckham.